Chris Hadfield here. We're at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. This is the underwater training facility where we learn how to do spacewalks. And in a few days, I'm going to be underwater practicing and teaching another astronaut, one of the new astronauts, one of David and Jeremy's classmates, about spacewalking, practicing, keeping my own skills fresh here underwater in Houston, Texas. At the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, we do a lot of training, of course, before we get in the water. Our tools are all laid out for us to train with.
What does NBL stand for? Neutral Buoyancy Lab?
Mock-ups of the Canadarm and all of our various equipment that we need to learn how to use to be able to successfully walk in space, all laid out on tables. And we go through them one by one. We have all the various joints of the Canadarm that the crew might have to work with, replacing cameras. In the foreground are several of the big boxes that are on the space station that we might have to change out as they break over time on board the space station. If you have your feet in the portable foot restraint and you want to turn, you can kick one foot out, step on the yaw pad, and the whole articulating portable foot restraint will turn. And if you want to roll on a different axis, then you can roll it left and right. The tools we use in space go from extremely simple, like this wire tie that we just loop around things and hold on. The Russians had that idea, the wire tie, very simple, to pretty straightforward, like a ratchet, where you got to turn the ratchet and it's got a handle for you, nice socket ratchet set. Right through to some pretty complicated tools.
I don't know.
That are used for locking down.
You know, I don't know if there's kids out there watching, for young people out there watching. So these are like space tools and stuff. These are tools that they use when they go onto the ISS, International Space Station. It's a space station that orbits the Earth. So these are the tools that they use, and the facility that they use to train for those orbit missions or whatever, or experiments.
Space shuttle or similar equipment that we use on the space station. A lot of the tools are made of metal. Trouble is, when you get in the water, the metal is still more dense than water, so it pulls you to the bottom of the pool. So some of the heavier tools, like our big drill, our big pistol grip tool, we make out of plastic. That way when you get in the pool, it has the same density as the water. It doesn't float, it doesn't sink. And when you really have to use a tool, the divers will just give you a high-fidelity working tool, and you can take off the plastic one. It's a compromise, but it works for simulation.
Look, all the tools have like straps on them so they don't float away into space. Or just float away.
Clamps and connectors. The space station is cooled with ammonia. It has fluid connectors for water. It has fluid connectors for other gases like nitrogen and helium. And so all of those need to be trained for opening and closing and connecting in orbit. And this is the simulator we have in order to practice all of the techniques for releasing and lifting and adjusting all of the various parts of the space station. The big bales that'll open and close them to allow us to remove a connector. It's
so that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they go into like the most detailed. They go into detail. I mean, these are replicas. This is not the real thing, but they have these guys ready for when they go up there in space. They have no issues or whatever, because they're pretty much alone. Once you get up there, yeah, you're pretty much alone. I mean,
types. This is where we learn to use them.
Scary shit. It's pretty scary. Like
gloves. These are the gloves that we wear to do a spacewalk. Hand goes up inside, all the various bladders. Custom fit. Sometimes we wear a liner inside just to soak up the sweat. But it's pressurized, so we have this bar we pull across the back really tight, and that squeezes on the glove so that it doesn't balloon up when you're working out in space. Water bag. This goes inside. Here's the drink spout up here that we drink through. and it gets carried inside a little Kevlar bag inside so that we have water to drink while we're outside for 7 or 8 hours. It's important to wear your helmet. When we're out in space, this is our spacewalking helmet. It's got visors, place for the head. It's even got a little thing inside on this side to clear your ears, scratch your nose. They'll sell the device.
Look, and isn't it crazy, guys? This is part 1. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just put part 1 and part 2 together all in one reaction video. But isn't it crazy that when you look at this helmet, it doesn't look that advanced? But just think about how advanced it's gonna be 30 years from now. You know what I mean? These are like we're just now developing. Everything is. I know we've been to space before, but all our technology as human beings is still developing. We're alive in one of the most important times. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But
it's a spacewalking helmet.
Yeah, let's go to part 2.
Good morning from the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. All of the gear that we're going to be wearing is over on the far side under the Canada flag. This pool is 15 meters deep, and it allows us to simulate weightlessness. And today I'm going to be underwater for about 5 or 6 hours, practicing spacewalking, working with another astronaut, and reacquainting myself with the spacewalking suit.
5 or 6 hours. Which is not a big deal, but
so this is the EMU, the Extravehicular Mobility Unit. It is different than the Russian Orlan. This one you climb in through the bottom and then build the suit around you. The Orlan, it's like...
This is what I wanted to say, and I'm gonna go back to this part a little bit because I keep interrupting, and I'm sorry about that. But it's a sacrifice. This job is pretty much a scientific sacrifice.
It is different than the Russian Orlan. This one you climb in through the bottom and then build the suit around.
So sorry about stopping it again, but because if you think about it, they go into space, and then when they come back down to Earth, they can't just stand up and walk. I mean, it's a whole process for them to get back into a healthy shape.
The Orlan, it's like getting into a little car or something. You open the back, you slide yourself in, and pull the door shut behind you. This one has more mobility. The Orlan has a lot more simplicity for on-orbit ops. That's good. Yes, sir. We're ready to install the helmet. Not so good for this. The gloves are all right, but they're worse when they're pressurized. Right now, I can manipulate this pretty well. There you go.
That's so fucking cool. And isn't it cool too that the suit can go in water as well? I mean, the things that we've created as a species, bro, like the technology is insane to me. We've accomplished a lot just on a short span.